Hey everybody, it's your host, Will again. And fuck, there's just this I have so many notes here about this topic because there was just so much to talk about. And I'm gonna split this up over a bunch of videos because there was just too much to talk about. And what are we gonna talk about? Fucking just one of my favorite series, Dangan Ronpa, which means bullet refusion. And if that sounds like gibberish, trust me when I say it has so much to do with the game that it's just a lot. So here's the thing: we're gonna go into a brief overview about what Danganronpa is as a franchise, and then we're gonna specifically talk about Danganronpa One, and then next episode two, and the next episode the anime that came out that was like the in between of two, and that was the sequel to two along with the prequel to one because fuck, this franchise just has so much, and I'm doing all this now. It's about a week before the third game comes out, Danganronpa V3. I say third, technically Zetai Zetsubou Shoujo was before it. You know what? I'll get into that. Point is, V3 is about to come out, and as a result, I wanted to talk about all of the things that I love about this franchise, and we're gonna have to start off the top. Okay, so here's the thing about Danganronpa. Danganronpa is published by Spike Chunsoft, and that's cool. I like that about them. And NIS America, Nippon Ichi Software. So here's the thing about Danganronpa. Danganronpa is a death game sort of thing. For those of you unfamiliar with the death game, it's sort of just exactly what it sounds like, where a bunch of people wake up, and the end result is, hey, you gotta kill each other. Figure that shit out. This is how it's gonna go. And either it's for escape or for a prize or whatever. Most of the time it's people trapped in a situation, they want to escape, and the only way to escape is to kill other people. But Danganronpa is a little special in insofar that it is not only a visual novel game franchise, it is also one of my preferred death games in that they go really, like really, really, really far into establishing every single character, maybe not in the main narrative, but on all the alternative modes, to show you that they're a fully rounded person. There's a lot of shit going on with them, and they're all weirdos. The premise to Danganronpa is so much fun. Okay, so first thing to talk about Danganronpa. It used to be a game called Distrust, and it used to be super different. There was like a trust meter that was gonna be like measuring all the shit that like you would be talking over things in the trial and be like, hey, you gotta trust me, you gotta believe me, and through using evidence, you would have to get them to trust you. The mini games were completely different. It's a bunch of stuff different. The reason they got canned is, believe it or not, too violent, way too violent, just too gory, too bloody, all that shit, and here's the thing about Japan, and I mean, I'm gonna talk about a lot of Japanese stuff over time. So, we should probably clear the air out here right now. Japan has a huge problem with violence. Like, just does not comfortable with violence in almost any fucking form. Quite ironic for the country to be almost paralleling the United States, whereas the United States has issues with sex, and even then it's become more lenient over time. Japan has more issues with violence and is much more lenient towards sex and sexuality, even if it's not directly overt. The society, or rather the public morals, or the proposed public morals is more accurate to say, might say, sex is a little off, but they won't hammer shit. They won't smash it into the ground just because they happen to draw a girl with nipples. Like it's bizarre. Versus you draw a man with a gun. Whoa, buddy, chill that the fuck out. Hey. Only bad guys have guns. So it's shit like that. Anywho, so Danganronpa, distrust. It was distrust. Apparently, way like really, really, really violent. Which is funny because violent stuff still happens in the main series. It's a death game. You expect people to die. It's just that they like recolored the blood. Instead of red, it's pink. So it's sort of a little ambiguous as to. I mean, it's understood that it's blood, but it doesn't look like blood. So that's okay. This franchise is so expansive. There's so many books, so many games. There's a bunch of anime now that wasn't a thing when I hopped into the series when the first anime came out because I was like, oh, I've never heard of this. Sure, whatever this is. And then my friends told me, dude, it's such a cool game on the PSP and yada yada yada. And it just kept going on and on. So I'm gonna list the games. Okay, and trust me when I say there's more than one. So there's Danganronpa Kibo no Gakuen to Zetsubo no Kokosei, which is Danganronpa, the School of Hope and the Students of Despair, or rather the High Schoolers of Despair. It became translated over here as Trigger Happy Havoc. Then there was Super Danganronpa 2 Sayonara Zetsubo Gakuen, Super Danganronpa 2, so Super Bullet Refusion 2, Goodbye School of Despair, And then that just became Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. They got rid of the super. And then there was a game after that, in the interim before 3. This is one of the more recent games that's come out, which is Zeta Zetsubo Shoujo Danganronpa Another Episode, which became Danganronpa Another Episode Ultra Despair Girls, which is fair. You could just flip it around, and it makes just as much sense. The third one, this I've seen from like promotional material and shit like that. It's called New Danganronpa V3 Minana Koroshiai Shingaki, which means New Danganronpa V3. Everyone's killing a next semester, like their new semester. Fuck me if I know what that means. The localized name is apparently going to be Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. So that's, yeah, I look forward to that. Along with that, so this franchise originally started on the PSP, and it eventually moved over to the PS Vita when it came to the Americas, because, I mean, why not? You got the Vita, might as well remind people that the Vita exists. Come on, Sony needs money. Come on, Sony needs money. Anywho, I had a Vita by then, and I decided, oh, hey, I really like this show, even if it's very rushed and slapdash, so I guess I might as well play the game that it became. I'm a little more, I'd imagine there was more stuff that'd be fleshed out in the game, and I was right. But nevertheless, so the original franchise was on the PSP, and when it came to the Vita, what they did for Japan was they put together 1 and 2 as Danganronpa 1.2 Reload, which, this is an interesting difference. In the game that I played, because I played the adapted version on the Vita of Danganronpa 1, there is a thing called school mode when you beat the game, because during the game they give you the opportunity to hang out with people, but I mean, it's a killing game, so people are gonna die. So what if you want to hang out with that one girl who gets super murdered really fast? Well, you have school mode after the fact to talk to her and get to know her better and all that other stuff. You get skills and points out of it, so it benefits you to do it, but it's still just interesting to see how much is going on to the characters, because as it turns out, they've written like a whole little narrative for them individually, beyond that which you see presented through the main game. So yeah, and in the first version of Danganronpa on the PSP, they didn't have that. That was made especially for the adaptation to the PS Vita. It's also present in 1.2 Reload, because it's essentially the American PS Vita things carried over to 1.2 Reload. But, so, what they used to have was like these weird little mini games, where it was Danganronpa Monokuma no Gyakushu. That's what I wrote. Sometimes I have issues reading what I write. Anyway, and it was replaced by School Mode in 1.2. There's an alter ego app, which is a thing that I'll talk about later when I bring up alter ego, but there's an app, because why not? And there was like 2 mobile games, and then a PC sound novel, and it was Danganronpa Ultimate Battle was the mobile game. It's this little like sliding puzzle thing, and this Kitty Kitty Soul was the sound novel, and God, you know what? You know what else there is? Besides all the fucking games, like, I listed all of them so far, or at least the ones that should know, and there's a fuck ton of manga for this franchise, too, and like, a lot of it is goofy little slice of life. Oh, have these weirdos hang out with each other. I wonder what that would be like. Shit, it's mostly anthological. You give a bunch of writers every single chapter. Like, yeah, maybe the book will be like 6, 7 chapters, and it'll be, hey, you get a chance to write some dumb bullshit about you what you want. And another guy will get like, you get to write your dumb shit. And it's for Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2, Danganronpa 3. There's a bunch of stuff. Like, there's so much going on. And then there's like the weird little interims that are just carryovers of the narratives of the game, but with like through the point of view of a different character. There's small Danganronpa 1.2 Light, which is a goofy little comic. From what I've heard or what I've seen, it seems to be the Danganronpa story, but with like jokes and not as much death, or if the death happens, it's like a reversal of what you saw in the game and shit like that. And on top of that, so you got all those manga, you got all those games, and you have a fuck ton of novels, like light novels. For those of you unfamiliar with light novels, it's basically just a little book. It's a young adult literature with pictures. It's fucking whatever. There's Danganronpa Kirigiri, which is exactly what it sounds like, the story of a person in the franchise. Kyoko Kirigiri, I'll bring her up later. Danganronpa Zero, which describes a bunch of stuff that led up to the first game. Danganronpa If, a what if the name didn't fucking tell you already. Danganronpa Togami, which, like I said, it's about a person in the thing. And Zettai Zetsubo Hagakure, which is just, hey, Zettai Zetsubo Shoujo's happening. What's Hagakure up to? Which is, once again, a person who's in the franchise. Like, I'll have to talk about them at some point and then bring it back. And then there's the anime for it. The anime for this franchise, like, I got in on Danganronpa the animation, which is just a retelling of Danganronpa 1. But there's also, when the second game finished, they wanted to make a thing that would show an epilogue to 2 and finish up what they called the Kibogamine arc. So the idea was, yeah, it's just to close up everything that we understand about Nagi Makoto and all those other guys and shit like that. And I'll admit, it was pretty fun, and I really liked it. And so that was Danganronpa 3, the end of Kibogamine Gakuen. It's actually just written, the end of Kibogamine Gakuen. Kibogamine being Hope's Peak, which is the school in the series. And that was split into two different things, which was Miraihen, Zetsubohen meaning Despair arc, which was talking about the events that led up to the characters from 2 being involved in the series, and Miraihen, which was describing the present, which led into another death game that was a whole bunch of other shit. At the end of both of those, there was Kibogami well, no, it was Kiba no Gakuen to Zetsubo no Kokosei, which was a wrap up of, just the whole thing. There was also an OVA called Super Danganronpa 2.5 Komaeda Nagito to Sekai no Hakaimono. It's just Nagito having a thing, which is a guy from 2. Okay, so what is Danganronpa besides a death game? Well, it's where do we start? The idea is pretty simple. It's a school where the best of the best get to go to school. And the idea is, if you're really, really good, like born talented, natural at something, that you become sent to the school to refine your skills, along with giving you the best education money could buy. And by being around these other people who also have really fantastic skills at one thing or another, that this place would be emblematic of humanity's best qualities. Now, that's a sweet idea, and I really like that, but my thing about this franchise when it comes to that, and it always pulls back to that for the first 2 games, and the anime and all that other shit, is that, did you not really consider some of the things that you chose to be the best of the best? Because some of the people in this game are, like, horrible, and I mean, I don't mean that they're bad people. I mean that the thing that they're good at is stupid, and I don't really see how that's supposed to be. Oh yeah, we want to preserve this for the future. I I have to like delude myself and make these large logical leaps, and in order to tell myself that's probably why he's here, because God fucking knows I can't. If I weren't a fan of the series, I would have no way to defend myself. So, you play as Makoto Naegi, who is the ultimate lucky student. Because, well, he got to go to the school because he got picked by lottery. And apparently, every once in a while, people get picked by lottery to just get into the school. And I mean, like, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. It's just, is that really a thing? Is it just to inject some normalcy into the school? Or is that just, I mean, you have to be super lucky to get picked, right? It's an inborn talent, luck. It's not. It seems retarded. And when he gets to this, he knows a bit about the school. He knows that this school takes only the best of the best and shit like that. So, and he remembers that this girl he went to middle school, Sayaka Maizono, an idol. That's her thing. She's the ultimate idol. By the way, everyone's title goes by the nature of Shokokokyu no whatever, which is to say, super high school level whatever. So hers is idol, and his is lucky, so whatever. Anywho, yeah, so he ends up going to the same school as her. He goes like, yeah, and I can't wait. The school's super awesome and super sick. Only the best of the best get to go here, and I get to rub elbows with these people. I hope this doesn't go terribly. And he gets to the door. He blacks out. When he wakes up, he's in a classroom. And the classroom has boarded up windows with steel plates on them. Steel plates on the windows. Just fucking really, really, no kidding. Steel plates on the windows, and a bear robot comes up to him and says, hey, go to the gym. Shit's gonna go down. I was like, what? Who are you? He was like, just go to the gym. It disappears. He goes, okay, weird bear robot. Also, fun note. In Distrust, the bear robot wasn't going to be a bear robot. It was going to be this weird anatomical doll that was half organs, half person. So maybe you're starting to see a little bit of what, That does sound creepy and unsettling. Maybe that is a bit much, but I don't know. I think it would have been alright. Anywho, he goes to the gym and interacts with all of these other weirdos. Everyone whose character design is fun in one way or another. They introduce themselves but they're just all caricatures, cartoonish people, which is fair for the thing that this is supposed to be. They say that people who are very very good at a thing are also incredibly eccentric and weird, and boy does that show up in full force in this series. Not a single time you meet somebody in this series who's genuinely just a normal person. Everyone's fucked up in one way or another, and it's at least worth watching. The only one who's normal, maybe, is Naegi, and the only reason for that is he didn't really get picked at the school for having a talent. He just showed up one day because he lucked out on a lottery. So that's that. So you meet all your pals. Now, there are 15 people, and they're all relevant to some degree or another. So instead of picking them out by their names, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all their titles, and we're just going to refer to them by their titles, because that's way easier. That this distinguishes them a lot more. You're not gonna expect me to repeat all those fucking names every goddamn time. I don't expect you to remember that. Okay? So, Byakuya Togami, affluent prodigy. What's that mean? Rich kid. Pretty much it. Toko Fukawa, author. She's a writer. Her specialty is romance literature, and boy, she's really really good at it. Then there's Enoshima Junko, just a fashion girl. That's really hit. She's a model. That's about it. Yasuhiro Hakakure. Hakakure is the word that they use is a diviner, and then in the game I think they call it clairvoyant, which those aren't the same thing. So we're just gonna call him a fortune teller. That works. There's Ayasahina, swimmer. Pretty simple. Sakura Ogami, martial artist. Also pretty simple. Kiyotaki Shimaru is a prefect. So for those of you who aren't familiar, think of it as like hall monitor asshole. I think that's what they call it in the English one too, hall monitor. Anywho, Sayaka Maizono, as you all remember, is the idol. Celestia Ludenberg. Yeah, say that fucking 3 times. That sounds weird, no matter how you say that. Gambler. Anywho. Mondo Owada. My favorite. He is the most fun. He's a Bozuzoku, and Bozuzoku is not a simple thing to explain. But I'll try. Bozuzoku are basically bikers with like an obsession with their cars and shit. It's sort of like think of a guy who pimps out his ride, but his ride also has to look really crazy with giant flags and all kinds of dumb bullshit. Bozuzoku love souping up their bikes. They're all generally they're supposed to be wayward youth. So like biker gang of juvenile delinquents with flashy bikes is the best way to put it. Let's see. Luyan Kuwata is the baseball guy. Also pretty straightforward. You already know who you are. Makoto Naegi, lucky boy. And then the cutest person is Chihiro Fujisaki, the programmer. You know me. I wasn't gonna stop myself from saying it, so I might as well say it. Adorable, and that's why I paid the most attention to them. Anywho, so yeah, you go ahead, you meet all those fucking people in the gym, and then the bear shows up and goes, "Hey, there's no way out of here, right?" And they go, "What?" And they're like, "You notice all the windows are all boarded up and shit. Try to go to the main entrance." They go to the main entrance. There's a giant vault-like door with turrets at the side. And then he goes, "Yeah, if anyone tries to open that door, the turrets will just get you. Fuck that. You don't get to just leave like that." And I go, "Wow, what are we gonna do? I don't want to live here. This isn't what I wanted. What the fuck is this? I thought we were gonna go to school. This sucks." And he goes, all right, no. You can leave. You can leave. Here's the thing, though. If you want to leave, you have to kill each other." And then everyone says, "What?" And the fucking prologue closes, and then chapter starts. So chapter 1 is the beginning of the game. It's called To Survive. And then he goes, "All right, look, it's pretty simple. Listen to me here." So someone has to commit a murder. And then when the murder happens, we do a trial. And in the trial, you have to be convict the murderer or falsely convict someone else. There has to be a conviction no matter what. If you convict the murderer gets executed. If you convict the wrong person, everyone except the murderer is executed. Pretty simple. Then the murderer gets to leave. That's it. To which everyone goes, "That sounds horrifying. What the fuck is wrong with you?" was like, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You know what? Just to make sure you guys do it, I'll give you something fun. And to which the bear hands out a bunch of DVDs. The DVDs have people's names on them. It goes, go to the AV room and watch the DVD. So you go to the AV room and you watch your DVD. You see your mom, your dad, and your little sister, and they're all having fun on the sofa. And they're just, making little comments about, oh, I'm so happy that my son went to the good school. And like the little sister goes something along the lines of, and I'm so proud of my older brother. And then there's just like a hard static cut to the same couch in the same room, all mangled up, clawed up, decay, like the wood's decaying, and there's stains and just horrifying shit. To which the main character goes, "Oh God, what happened to my family?" And then a little cutaway goes to be continued. Ha, kidding. No, it says, "You want to find out? Get outside." And that's about it. And it's like, wow, fuck you. Like, really? Okay, that's a strong motive. Yeah, no, that's fair. People want to find out what happened to their families if they think, or their loved ones in general. That sounds fucked up. So yeah, so everyone decides. So you go over and then your best friend and the little pop idol goes out, and then she decides, oh man, no, fuck this. And then you run after her. You're like, hey, are you okay? Are you doing all right? And she's like, no, I'm not doing all right. Because you try to console her, and she decides, I'm just gonna go take a nap. And he's like, okay, fine. So she goes, she takes a nap. She knocks on your door in the middle of the night. You're like, whoa, what's going on? You go open the door. Hey, it's the pop idol again. How's it going? And she says, hey, do you mind if we like switch rooms? It's like, what? Like, do you mind if we switch rooms? I feel like I'll be more comfortable in your room, and if someone tries to get in my room, then they'll have to deal with you. And because you're in the same school at one point and you think she's cute and you're that kind of guy, you go like, yeah, sure, whatever. So you go into her room and go to sleep. And that's about it. You wake up, everyone meets up for breakfast to make sure that nobody's been killed. And hey, wouldn't you know it? The pop idol's not showing up. Huh, we should go look into that. You go back to the room, and suddenly there's something strange. You open your door, and hey, look at that. Fucking a bunch of violent signs of a struggle. And a fight's going on. You head to the bathroom, and there's the pop idol with blood all over the fucking floor and a knife in her guts. And after having a horrible panic attack, the mystery girl, Kyoko Kirigiri, the one who doesn't remember her skills, says, look, let's just investigate, okay? I was like, yeah, I mean, we do have to deal with the trial later. That's fair. Okay, let's do that. You investigate, you find a bunch of shit. For example, she switched the nameplates on your doors, and there was clearly a fight there. There's a replica sword in your room that got beat up to shit. The knife in her guts that came from the kitchen. You find out a bunch of shit. So you go do the stupid trial, and what ends up happening is by going through the trial, you realize, oh well, she got stabbed, and she tried to attack the person first. So it's not that knife was brought in to kill her so much as she used the knife to try to kill someone and try to plant the evidence on you. So when she switched rooms with you, she then switched the nameplates and left a note to somebody who you don't know and told them, hey, let's meet up. At which point, she would invite them over to her room and then murder the shit out of them. And then in the morning, when everyone went to go get breakfast, she would switch the nameplates back, pinning you for the murder, letting her get outside once you were falsely convicted and everyone was executed. And you think to yourself, no, she's my friend, she did all these other things, she was pretty cool, and she's cute. And it's like, well, I mean, do you know? Do you realize all this evidence points to that? And he was like, well, okay, fine, fuck it, let's run with that. As much as that disgusts and depresses me, let's run with that idea. Okay, fine. So you run with that idea, and then you go, alright, well, is there anything left? Any evidence we can work into it? Well, 11307 was written directly behind her in blood. So maybe that has something to do with it. It's a dying message or whatever. My favorite thing about this that I remember directly was the biker guy, Bosozoku guy, goes to, hey, nerd! To the programmer. Programmer is what? It's like, you know numbers, nerd? What's it mean? And then programmer goes, I don't, what? Those are barely numbers. It doesn't even make sense. Even if it was a coding thing, I don't know what that is. I was like, alright, fine, whatever. Which is just great. That's a thing that he's like we might die. Shh, come on, nerd. Do your nerd thing. It's fucking amazing to me. God, I love him. He is goofy. The more you get to know him, the more fun it is. So I'll get to that eventually. I just want to go over the narrative first. So then you realize, hey, it's not 11307. If you look at it from the angle in which the pop idol wrote it in her blood, it actually spells out L-E-O, and then the two ones is missing a smudge between it that would make it an N. That's like, oh, Leon. Oh, well, shit. We know who that is. That's the baseball guy. To which he goes like, no, no, I didn't fucking do it. No. And, yep. So after a long pout of him screaming, no, 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 stupid, 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 fuck you, stupid, fuck you, you go, alright, look, here's how this went down. All the girls get sewing kits in the room. All the guys get little tool kits. Okay, so the doorknob to the bathroom was busted. And the thing is, I swapped rooms with the pop idol. So they thought it was the girls' room, and only girls' bathrooms can lock. Right? That's the way the school is set up. So when my door, which is shitty and busted up, was stuck, they thought door was locked. And because they thought they were in a girl's room, they didn't go for the screwdriver that was inside of the little drawer. They went to their room to go get their screwdriver. And it's pretty easy. All we have to do now is gather every guy's screwdriver little tool set, and then we see which one is opened. And at this point, baseball fella, you're the only person who probably has any reason to have opened it. And if your only excuse is, I don't have it, yeah, you totally killed her. And then he shuts up, and he gets brutally fucking executed. He gets shot with a pitching machine until he's mangled and dies. It's fucking horrible. It's just awful. Also, one more thing I should mention that happened in chapter one. Besides those two, the pop idol getting murdered, and Mr. Baseball Guy committing the murder and therefore getting executed, the model girl also fucking ate it. See, what happened was a while ago when you guys were doing your whole little tit and tat talking thing with the bear, and you didn't want to listen to the bear. You're like, I don't want to kill anybody. The model girl starts kicking the bear, and then the bear goes, you're gonna want to stop her. I'm gonna have to take it out of you. And she goes like, yeah, what are you gonna do, shitty little bear? Goes, Spear of Gungnir. And she's like, what? And then giant metal spikes come out and just pierce her body all over. To which she responds, her dying words are, wait, this wasn't supposed to, and then she fucking eats it. Yeah, that's just awful. But hey, killing game. People are gonna die, and that was the thing that was supposed to make you realize, oh shit, they're serious. We can die. So yeah, model, idol, baseball fella, all dead. That's chapter one. Open up chapter two. Boy's life of despair. Well, everyone is incredibly dowered having watched a man get brutally executed, and knowing that their friend might have tried to kill another friend. Although I guess they weren't friends. The point is, no one wants to have to admit that kind of horrible shit's happening. And yep, everyone's kind of bummed. The bear comes up with good news and says, hey, I opened up the second floor of the school so you can go investigate now. That's cool, I guess. You find a library, a bunch of classrooms, and good news for the swimmer, a pool. A pool with changing rooms that lead to that also have gyms in them. That go girl side, boy side. Pretty simple. Also, all the kids have these neat little handbooks, electronic PDAs, so to speak. And I say electronic PDAs. Like, PDAs aren't electronic. I feel stupid for saying that. Anywho, everyone has a little PDA that sort of works like their handbook. And you can scan the PDA to get into the locker room. Girls go into the girls' locker room, guys go into the guys' locker room. Never shall the twain meet. They end up going to the library where Mr. Rich Kid is having so much fun with all the stuff in the library. To which Biker Guy and sad little programmer go, I am miserable. And Biker Guy just goes like, oh, cheer the fuck up, midget. You little nerd. Cheer up. And you, Mr. Luckboy, go over and go like, yeah, it's okay. We don't have to keep doing this. And then three people, Writer Girl, Rich Kid, and Gambler, just decide, like, don't be stupid. This is it's already happened. Someone's already killed someone else. And at this point, all we can do is play along and hope that one of us gets out. And they're like, you actually plan on killing someone? And he's like, maybe, maybe not. Point is, this is a game. I need to win. That upsets programmer so much that they start crying, just sobbing like the little weak-willed loser they are. To which big beefy Bozozoku man decides, hey, that's not cool. You made this kid cry. Fuck you. And so he punches him the fuck out, which I love that. And then you, in an attempt to stop him, also get knocked the fuck out. Because when Biker Guy's angry, he just starts swinging. Fuck everybody. Ah! And it's really funny to me that he is like, that he has this completely unending whirlwind of rage the second someone starts him up. It's honestly quite amazing. After you get knocked the fuck out, you come up to in the nurse's office, and then everybody talks, and it's kind of a bummer. Mr. Biker Guy ends up getting into an argument with Mr. Hall Monitor because Hall Monitor is all about keeping order. Biker Guy's a biker. What do you expect from him? He's shit. Everything he does is illegal by nature. He drives around on a motorcycle. He's like 16, 15. He shouldn't be on a fucking motorcycle, especially without a helmet, doing illegal street racing all up and down streets and highways. Anywho, they get into an argument, and in the night, you're awoken by Biker Man and Hall Monitor. They go, hey, we want to see which one of us is manlier. You're like, what does that have to do with me? He goes, easy. We need someone to be a testament to our match. He goes like, that's stupid. He was like, well, I mean, if we only go on hearsay, he could be lying, I could be lying. We need someone to watch so that way, we have someone as proof. He goes, all right, sure, whatever. So they take you to the sauna, and they go, all right, look, here's what's going to happen. We're going to sweat it out in the sauna, and whichever one is a bitch and leaves first is the loser. Cool? He goes, yeah, sure, whatever. Hall Monitor disrobes, as is normal, to go into a fucking sauna, and just wears a towel around his dick, because whatever. Bozazuko, on the other hand, just decides to fucking go in, clothes and all, with a weird towel on his dizento. Dizento's a hairstyle. It's sort of I don't know, I think it's called the jelly roll in America. I'm not totally sure. Point is, he has a dizento, and he has a towel on his dizento, and it's like, that's stupid. I don't know why you're doing that. But anywho, he was like, if you go in there, you're gonna die. He was like, shut up, I'm a man, I could handle it. And the Hall Monitor just goes, like, yeah, sure, whatever, loser, you're gonna dip first. I mean, okay, whatever. So they have a fight, or rather, a spiritual fight. You dip because fuck them. Why the hell am I gonna stand around here all night? That's stupid. Come to the morning, you decide, oh man, I hope they didn't die in there. And you go to have breakfast to meet up with everybody, because, it's the thing you do now. And you just hear loud, boisterous laughter, and it's those guys with their arms around each other, going on and on, calling each other bro, and saying stupid things to each other. To which you go up to them and go like, hey, are you guys alright? I thought you guys hate each other. Like, nah, we figured it out. You're super cool, right, bro? You're cool, bro. And they just keep talking like that. And it sort of makes a couple of people uncomfortable because, Jesus, what's wrong with you two? It had male bonding in the sauna. Whatever the fuck that was about. Anywho, as is natural, you go and you investigate the second floor and you have fun. Till one day the bear decides, nah, fuck it, ain't nobody killing nobody. We're gonna do something about this. Hey, I got an idea. Last time I gave you DVDs with your family and shit, and now I'm gonna give you a different thing. He pulls out envelopes, people's names written on them, and then he says, hey, inside these envelopes are the deepest, darkest secret you have to carry on your soul. And if nobody kills anybody, in 3 days' time, I'm gonna start reading these shits off for everybody to hear and find out. All that shit you didn't want people to know, all that stuff you want to keep secret, well, everybody's gonna hear about it. And I'm gonna read them all the way through till someone kills somebody. A lot of people made uncomfortable by that. And lo and behold, a day or two later, programmer is brutally murdered and strung up inside the girls' locker room. There's a lot of blood on the wound on the head. A lot of blood on the head. Strung up with like cords wrapped around a weight-lifting bench, and the word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. Yeah, that's fucking great. Anywho, trial as expected. You go to the secret room in the library. Well, it's not much of a secret room. It's just a door in the library that nobody decides to go into. Go into the library when you're doing your investigation, and Rich Kid goes, hey, check out this book. And I was like, what's this book? And it was like, it's a profile on one of the country's worst serial killers, Genocide the Show. And I was like, okay, what's up with that? Well, does this seem familiar? Shows a picture of a guy executed, super hardcore. I was like, oh yeah, that looks to be the same way the programmer got killed. And he was like, yeah, stabbed through their hands against the wall. I was like, no, that's not exactly it. But blood lost on the wall and always kills young people. I was like, yeah, all right, I guess that's fair. So you go and you do the trial, and throughout the trial, a bunch of stuff is discovered because we gotta be honest with each other. So, literary girl, little author girl, as it turns out, she has dissociative identity disorder, and her other personality is the crazy serial murderer Genocide the Show. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care. We're gonna do it. Fuck you. And well, then a couple of flaws come up with a little old rich kid's deductive plan, which is, hey, here's the thing about Genocide the Show. Genocide the Show only kills dudes. I'm like, yeah, Fujisaki was a girl. Programmer Kid was a girl. You're wrong. And you're stupid. And he goes like, well, I mean, also, Programmer was strung up by the arms, not stabbed through with a scissor. Programmer was killed with a blunt object, smashed over the head. Did not get stabbed with scissors. You're stupid. It's like, fuck you guys. Fuck. Then it turns out, hey, we know who killed the programmer, and it's discovered in one of the most fun of ways when they go, all right, look, what was the programmer doing when they died? Okay, well, from what I heard, she was gonna go meet someone in the gym. I was like, okay, she was gonna go meet someone in the gym. That makes sense. She got her head smashed in. Okay, well, who did she meet in the gym? Well, if the gambler says, I saw the programmer inside of the little storage room, they were getting some training sweats. Like, yeah, they were getting training sweats. Okay, so it's probably the same training sweats as the person they were going to work out with if they were going to meet with somebody. Like, yeah, all right, that makes sense. All right, well, let's go around everybody. And they go, hey, what color are your training sweats? And I go, okay, cool. So one guy goes like, oh, my training sweats are red. And the other one goes, my training sweats are white. Yeah, and then it goes to Bosuzoku, and he says, oh, it can't be me. I mean, my training sweats aren't blue. They're black. And they go, hold the fuck on. When did we ever mention what the color the training sweats were? And he goes, fuck. Fuck. All right. And he goes like, okay, no, hold on. Yeah, hold on. It's like, well, hold on. How could I have put the programmer in the girls' locker room if I'm not a girl? If I try to get in there with my thing, I get murdered. And again, that's true, because the locker rooms are set up with another chain gun mechanism that'll shoot the shit out of anybody who tries to get in there. Fuck them. Okay, so wait a second. And you're like, what? It's like, down by the entrance, I found the notebooks of a bunch of the people that totally died, right? And I was like, yeah. And I found one broken one, right? Right. Now, you can't break these things pretty easily. You can't, like, smash them or whatever. But they do break from extreme exposure to heat. I was like, so? I was like, don't you remember last night you dragged me to the sauna for your stupid competition and you had your clothes on? You realized yours broke, and using that, you were able to go get one of the other ones that belonged to the dead girl, the pop idol, and then you used it to get inside of the girl's locker room, and then you broke it using the sauna to explode it. Like, yeah. Wait, what? Okay, wait, no, let's back up. Why don't we have programmer's notebook? Because you exploded it. Yeah, but why would you do that? To which the mystery girl, Kyoko Kirigiri, goes, I know why he did it. And you're like, why did he do it? And it's like, well, Fujisaki's not a girl. And I'm like, what? Programmer's not a girl? Programmer looks exactly like a girl. Like, yeah, no. I realized something. I'm like, what'd you realize? He goes like, when the Bosuzoku talks about people, when he says chick for girl and he says kid for boy, I was like, right? And whenever we brought up Fujisaki, he would say something like, I don't know that kid. Like, wow, you noticed something that stupid and specific? I wonder what your talent is. Ha! Big mystery. Really? I put it like it's fucking obvious at this point. If the fact that she does deductive reasoning and all this other shit in the last case, and then this one doesn't piss you off, someone who's unnecessarily observant and really skilled at that kind of says what she's good at. If she's really good at solving mysteries, huh? Fucking wow. Ooh, I wonder what her skill is. So, you go over to the scene of the crime, to which everyone goes, yeah, I'm not gonna touch a dead body. And then martial artist goes, look, if they were a girl, then it's only fair for me to do it. It's like, okay, cool. Pat down the body. Oh, that's a dick. That's a dude. No, 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 that's a dude. And they go like, oh, fuck, it was a dude. Okay, okay, okay. So let's run this back. So you killed Fujisaki, the programmer, and stuffed them in the girls' locker room. And after doing all that shit to make it look like a serial killer did it, not knowing to convince us that there's a serial killer there. But I have a couple questions. What the fuck was that about? Like, why the serial killer and why the girls' locker room? And the biker gives up. It's funny because the hall monitor fights for him, saying, "No, don't kill him, bro. He totally didn't do it. He's a good man. He couldn't have done that shit." Which, like, is ironic coming from him, especially considering he knows everything about the biker guy by now, and the biker guy is a huge jerk. Well, he's not a jerk, but he's a gangbanger. He's a delinquent. He goes around beating the shit out of people. It's not to say that he's gentle. I'll get back to describing what I like about him later, but he's not the best guy. Anywho, after the biker tells his buddy to chill the fuck out and go like, nah, forget it. I gotta go down for this. It's only fair. I go, alright, so explain some shit. And he's like, alright, well, the bear says, oh man, I can explain all that shit for you. And then the biker guy goes like, no, don't you say shit. And he goes like, no, 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 I can totally say it. The reason he killed the programmer was because his secret is he murdered his brother. And he was like, what? And I was like, I didn't want to fucking talk about this. I just wanted to get executed or whatever. Just shut the fuck up. And they're like, no, you know what? No, go ahead. Explain it. I was like, all right, fine. My brother and I formed that gang together. My name is Mondo. His name is Daya. We were the Crazy Diamonds. Which, by the way, shout out to JoJo. Crazy Diamond. That was intentional. I know that. Anywho. Well, yeah, we were the Crazy Diamonds with the coolest, sickest gang all over the country. We've got every gang, every biking gang in the entire country under our feet. And my brother was going to retire. And I love him. And I knew everybody was going to be saying shit like, Mondo doesn't deserve to be the leader. He's only the leader because his brother's giving up and he helped found it. Which, I mean, I'm the best leader of this gang. You can't fucking deny that. Yeah, alright, fine. Fuck you guys. I'll prove it. I'll prove that I'm better than my older brother. And you know how I tried to prove it? I tried to have a bike race with him. And I almost got killed by a truck. And my brother pushed me out the way and he died. And he died in my arms. And his last words were, keep the gang together. Be strong. And I felt so weak and so stupid and just like the worst possible person because I got my brother killed and it's my fault and fuck. And then it reveals that he has a huge complex about strength and shit like that and masculinity, and I think that's really interesting and surprisingly complex for a person that you don't expect much from. So then, programmer comes up to him and says, all right, hey, can I tell you something? I was like, what? And I was like, oh, this is a very, very sincere thing. I was like, what? I was like, I am a dude. And he was like, whoa, you're a dude? No fucking way. And I was like, yeah, I'm a dude. I was like, you're fucking with me. He's like, no, I'm a dude. And I was like, okay. Why the fuck are you telling me this? He's like, well, that's the secret the bear is going to tell everybody. And they go, no. He goes, whoa, fucking what? And he was like, yeah. And you know what? I'm ready for him to tell everybody. And they're like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah. I've been dressing like a girl, not because I think I'm a girl, or not because I want to be a girl, but like, okay, here's the thing. I've always been really weak and really frail. I'm as effeminate now as I've ever been, and it sucks, and I hate it. And kids used to pick on me, because you know how kids pick on other kids when they're weak, because that's what they're like? I'm like, yeah, I know what that's like. It's like, okay, so I got picked on a lot. But then I realized, the girls don't get picked on for being unathletic, so if they think I'm a girl, they won't pick on me for being unathletic. To which my thought was, man, that's a very oddly misogynistic view, you effeminate little man. And he goes, and now that I've been at the school and I've seen really strong-willed and exceptional girls, I realize that was stupid of me. Girls aren't weak. Girls aren't weak by default. I'm weak, and that shouldn't be defined by any such gender, or nor should I allow it to define anyone. And I'm not going to let it define me either. And I see you. You're tall. You're buff. You're cool. I'm gonna be as cool as you are. To which Becker guy goes, "Are you serious? You want to be like me?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I was like, yeah, you're so strong. He was like, yeah, yeah. He was like, you're so strong and cool. And he was like, you're so strong and cool. And then the biker guy just loses it because it feeds into a lot of his emotional insecurities about him not being strong and how the effeminate little programming kid is only strong than the biker is, and that offends him, that upsets him. It sends him into this horribly depressing spiral resulting from his insecurity. And in a moment of blind rage, he smashes the kid's skull in with a barbell. And then, so the kid wanted to admit, the programmer wanted to tell everyone their secret on their own. Because, he wanted everyone to know. He wanted to be the one who told everyone, I'm a dude. That's why I wanted to get strong. He wanted to get cooler. And he felt, even if people look at me weird or any of that, it's fine because I'll be cool with myself. So the biker, in his attempt to keep a man's promise, because he's that sort of noble, weird guy, he says, I figured out a way to put the programmer's body in the girl's room. I didn't string him up like that. I didn't do any of that shit. I just wanted him to be in the girl's room when he died because I thought that way no one would have to know because he didn't get the chance to tell them. And they go like, that's amazing. How oddly noble of you. So then wait, if you didn't string him up, who strung him up? And I was like, I don't fucking know. And the hall monitor is sobbing because holy shit, his friend's gonna get murdered. And then his friends get executed. And then he continues to cry, and everyone is stricken with grief and disgust and the bitter taste of having executed someone who they realized was a noble and strong person at the end. Yeah, that's fucking awful. And then the rich kid goes like, "Oh, by the way, I'm the one who strung up the programmer like that." They're like, "Why? Why would you do that? That was a false lead. You could have gotten us all killed." He's like, "Well, I mean, you gotta play the game, right?" And he's just fucking. It's like, you're the worst human being imaginable. I hope you die. Fuck you. It's like, wow, that's awful. Yeesh, you're a monster, rich kid. That's the end of chapter 2. There's 6 chapters, so not much left to go. Anywho, chapter 3, a next generation legend. So, swimming girl has trouble sleeping because, people died. She's not in a great mood. So she gets up to go for a walk. She goes past the little bathhouse that they have on the first floor, and she thinks she sees a fucking ghost. And the next day, she tells everybody she saw a fucking ghost, and it was in the bathhouse. And oh God, help me, please, there's a fucking ghost. Everybody goes, "Ghost? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you insane? Are you stupid? What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Well, no, ghost, for real, fucking ghost." And you're like, "What? Okay, ghost of who? Ghost of the programmer that just died? Yes." So everyone goes to the bathhouse, like, listening to her. And they for a second, they think, oh shit, I think that is a ghost. But then they look closer into the face of the programmer, and they're like, that's a laptop. What the fuck? And then they pause, and then they investigate the laptop. And the laptop is an AI program that, for some reason, is designed to look exactly like the programmer. And its name is Alter Ego. And that's fucking amazing. That's great. You type into the laptop, and the thing reads, and they're like, "Hey, where's Master?" And they're like, "Wow, Master? Okay, that's a weird thing you decided to call yourself." Anywho, he's dead. And they're like, "Oh, that sucks." I'm like, "Yeah, no one wanted him to die. That's unfortunate." I'm like, "Yeah, who killed him?" And they're like, "Yeah, this other the biker guy." He was like, "Oh, I remember him. Oh, that sucks." Oh. And Mr. Hamada, being emotionally fractured at having his best friend die, goes up to the laptop and talks to it like it's a person and thinks it is a ghost. Or rather, he's so stricken with grief and is in a poor psychological state that he just talks to it like it was the dead programmer. I was like, "Hey, are you mad that bro killed you?" And it's like, "I'm not mad. What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, okay, I get what you're saying." Like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." Like, "That's not, it's fine, it doesn't actually matter." He was like, "Okay, cool. I'm sorry." He was like, "No, it's fine. You know what? Here, give me a second." And it pulls up a face of the Mr. Biker guy, and it gives him a rousing emotional speech, and it makes him get his shit together. And then for some reason, has white hair and black and red eyes all of a sudden. He already had, like, weird red eyes, but now there's, like, a spirit aura coming around him. And he just starts referring to himself as I. Like, Ore. And they're like, "Who are you?" He goes like, "I am I. Shut up, nerds." And he's this weird amalgam of the biker's personality and his own. And he just storms off. And I forgot to mention someone when I was doing the list of the people in the series besides Kyoko Kirigiri. There is Hifumi Yamada, this their fanfic maker. That's kind of it. He's a doujinshi creator, and that's not necessarily porn, but it's always like fan fiction. Anywho, he goes up to the laptop and says, "Hey, how's it going, cute girl?" And you're like, "It's okay, cool. You realize it's a fucking laptop, right?" And he was like, "I mean, yeah, but I mean, it talks to me like a cute girl." He was like, "You also remember that that's the picture of the dude we know, right?" And he was like, "I know, but like it talks to me like a cute girl." And I'm like, "You're stupid, whatever." No one gets to touch the laptop. And I was like, "Okay, fine." It was like, "Hey, laptop." And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Can you help us?" And I was like, "Well, help you how?" And he was like, "Well, here's the thing. There's a bunch of encrypted files that we might need to get hacked. Do you think you could do that?" "Oh, I could totally do that. Just leave me next to the stuff and I could totally do it." And he was like, "All right, cool, laptop. We'll be back." "Good. Get working on it." So they all leave and then they decide to let the laptop do its work. And as a result, well, one day the laptop fucking disappears. Fantastic. The bear offers up a fuck ton of money. The bear says, "Hey, by the way, I notice ain't nobody killing nobody. How about $700 million or whatever the fuck?" Like, it's an exorbitant amount. I want to say it was like $1 billion. I don't remember. I didn't write it down in my notes. I replayed the game for the sake of this, but yeah. The bear offers up $1 million and the laptop disappears. And then Rich Kid goes, "I bet it was a fucking traitor. We have a traitor in our midst." I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. That's not super important, nerd." Anywho, Celeste screams. You run over and you go find her on the third floor. Every time somebody dies, I guess a new floor opens up for whatever reason. So, new floor opens up. There's a rec room and some other stuff on that floor. So Celeste screams, and you run up to the third floor, and you see her, and you're like, What's going on?" And it's like, I got by the fat nerd Yamada. He got attacked by Robo Justice." It's like, "What's Robo Justice?" "I don't know. I have a picture of this thing. He told me it was Robo Justice," and it shows Yamada, Mr. Fanfic fella, carrying around this weird robot suit, and I mean, it looks like it's choking him out. It's not really like he's carrying it around. I go like, "Yeah, you got attacked and you whacked him in the head with a hammer, and oh god, I don't know what's happening." And you go in and he's all bloodied and collapsed, and you're like, "Holy shit, what's happening?" And then you find a hall monitor and he's fucking dead in a different room, and they're like, "Oh Jesus." And you come back and now fanfic creator was gone, and when you find him again, he's super fucking dead. He's dying, and then he says, "What do you wait, who did this to you?" He goes, "Yeah, so here, uh, which is straight up the first name of our fun fortune teller guy. When you find the fortune teller guy, because no one's seen him for a while, you end up in the gym in a locker, and he's inside of the robot costume. And you go like, "Fuck, did he totally kill those people?" I mean, all signs point to him, but it'd be stupid to go with that on the first bet, wouldn't it? So as it turns out, the robot suit is designed in a way that it only fits him and it doesn't really fit anyone else. It's so exact that if anyone else were trying to fit in it, it wouldn't really work. And it's boxy and it's square because it looks like Volkaiser. So I throw that out. I think everybody fucking knows that. Like Voltron, you know what I mean. It's a giant Zord mech thing, and it's impossible to move in, which clearly means that someone couldn't have killed someone inside of it. All the guys were killed by getting smashed in the head with a hammer, with these weird little craft hammers called justice hammers. And just, I'll admit it was a very roundabout process, but I don't feel like there's any intimate detail for this fucking case that's super important. So I'm just gonna say it real quick. So what ends up happening is it turns out that our gambler friend kidnapped the laptop and convinced both of the idiots that the other person had stolen the laptop so as to make them fight. And then when fanfic creator got the upper hand and murdered the shit out of our hall monitor friend, she snuck up and finished the job on our fanfic creator. So the first time he found them all bloodied up, he wasn't actually hurt. He had thrown blood on himself to make it look like he had gotten hurt, because this was also part of their plan. And then she murdered the shit out of the fanfic creator. It was like, "Alright, cool, now I've gotten away with it. Ha ha." And then when you ask her why she did it, her response is, "For the money, stupid." like, so when he says, like, "Whoa, I thought the person who killed her was Yasuhiro. And he was like, well, I mean, look, real talk. Did you fucking think her name was Celestia Ludenberg? Don't lie to me. Did you really think her name was Celestia Ludenberg? And I was like, I mean, she didn't give me another name. She's a liar. She lies all the goddamn time. Her gimmick is she's great at gambling because she's the best liar. She's called the queen of liars. She wasn't telling the truth, you retard. Like, what's her name? Taeko Yasuhiro. It's on her fucking stupid report card thing. And yeah, so when he said Yasuhiro, he didn't mean Hagakure, the fortune teller, whose first name is Yasuhiro. He meant Taeko Yasuhiro, the gambler girl. That's her real name. And you get her executed. And when you ask her about her motive, she goes like, fucking money. And you're like, why do you want money that bad? He's like, well, my dream is to live in a fantastic European castle with beautiful butlers waiting on me hand and foot. And she just keeps going on. She's like, yeah, and I needed money to do it. Fucking stupid. And then she gets executed because she committed a murder and she was caught. Eat shit. Chapter 4 All-Star Apologies. Yeah, that's what you wanted. So, Mystery Girl says, hey, maybe you should go check out this super secret room I found. I was like, okay, cool. Goes to the super secret room, and, like, it was in the girls' bathroom, the guy's bathroom. I was about to say girls, now it was in the guy's bathroom. And the question becomes, why did you go into the guy's bathroom? But you know what, I don't really care. So he goes into the secret room, and then in the room behind the supply closet, finds a whole bunch of cool old shit. And then he finds one thing that says school academy, like school student registry, and he looks at it. And a bunch of the other things are covered in dust, but this thing isn't covered in dust. He opens it. There's a piece of paper that says, "You must not leave this place." And he sees, "Oh shit, that's my handwriting. Oh fuck!" And then somebody in a mask and a lab coat jumps him and knocks him the fuck out. And when he wakes up, everything is empty. Everything is fucking gone. All that stuff that he found there was fucking gone, and he feels like the worst person ever for letting that shit happen. But hey, what are you gonna do? So he goes downstairs to where the rooms are, and on his way, he passes by the gym, and he hears the bunch of noises in the gym, and then he sees the martial artist and the bear are fighting, and they keep talking about a mole and a hostage and a bunch of other shit, and it's like, whoa, oh no, the martial artist is may or may not be the super secret trader that we all thought didn't exist or did exist and wasn't sure about. So yeah. Anywho, just go through the day, and the next day, the fucking martial artist says, "Hey, I want to talk to you guys, or rather, three of you guys. I want to talk to you guys later." And I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever." So you go to try. So a bunch of the guys go to try to talk to her, and when you end up going up to the room where she was hanging out and sitting in a chair, you see that she's like she's just sitting in a chair, and then there's a chair boring against the door that you're standing against, and you break the window to get inside, and get inside, she's fucking dead. There's a bing bing bong, and like blood coming out of her mouth, and there's a whole bunch of other shit, like bottles smashed on the ground, a weird sticky print on the lock on the inside of the locker that's nearby, and you're like, wow, okay, what happened here? Well, fuck, time to investigate. They investigate, and throughout the case, it turns out that yeah, the martial artist was totally the super secret trader, and what they did was, well, what she did was essentially try to confess to everyone that she was a super stupid trader, and she wanted to apologize for being a super huge trader, because the other people that terrified of her, they knocked her out with bottles of glass, and then ran away. And throughout the trial, this is worth mentioning. Throughout the trial, the swimmer girl tries to convince everyone that someone totally murdered her, despite knowing that the martial artist committed suicide. How did the martial artist commit suicide? Well, she drank poison. So the swimmer girl tries to convince everyone that she poisoned the martial artist. And I go like, why would you do that? She's like, because I wished you fucks were dead. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? It's like, because the reason she's all emotionally, she committed suicide was because you guys bullied her. They're like, what are you talking about? And she pulls out a piece of paper, and it's like this sad suicide note that's like, nobody loves me, nobody wants to be friends with me, they all hate me, and I'm a jerk, and they call me ugly and stuff, so I'm trying to kill myself. To which you go, hey, you're stupid. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, she didn't write that. And I'm like, what? And they go up to the bear, they're like, Bear, did you write that? It's like, Bear goes, yeah. Oh man, I can't believe you fell for that shit. she goes, "Why I was about to kill everybody because some shit you lied to me about." It's like, well, I mean, you didn't have to take it at face value. You're stupid. And then they've revealed the real suicide note, where martial arts goes, "I'm committing suicide because this is the noble thing to do, and I hope that this sacrifice will stop you guys from fighting and stuff. Because man, I fucked up real bad. I didn't want you guys to like kill each other and lose your shit because you were investigating who the mole and the traitor is. I'm the traitor. I'm killing myself. It's only fair. I love you guys. Keep your shit together." And then yeah, I can totally commit suicide. And that's the end of that. And they go like, who killed her? And you just pick her. And you're like, yep, she committed suicide. That's the end of that. So nobody dies. And if anything, it gets everyone to stop fucking hating on each other, stop trying to kill each other. It's kind of impressive that her thing did it. Fortunately, like 6 people are already dead, so you know. But you do what you can. Do what you can. So everybody's miserable because like wow, look at that shit. This is wild. I don't like this. And you go to bed. You're feeling sick, and in the middle of the night, some person in a mask with a knife tries to stab you and fucking murder the shit out of you. And then you see Mystery Girl stop you from getting murdered, or rather, you see her after seeing the masked man, and go like, "Well, I guess she saved me. That's cool." Later that day, you go up to the new floor where there's a arboretum, a bunch of shit. There's a neat little training dojo. There's a physics lab and there's an arboretum. No wait, there's a bio lab. The physics lab was on the third floor, I think. Anywho, you go to the arboretum and there's the fucking masked person, dead, stabbed through the chest with their jacket on top of them. And it's like, whoa, this is fucking nuts. Mind you, you explored the floor first, and the next day you find him dead. But anyway, you find him dead, and then everyone thinks, "So you totally fucking did that, right?" And they're like, "What? There's no fucking way anyone else could have done it, right? Because you're the only one who's ever seen them." It's like, "No, I didn't fucking do it." And when you go and find the guys hanging out at night, the other night they took apart one of the bears. They took apart the bear, and it turns out because last time the first time way back when you tried to fight the bear, or the guys tried to fight the bear. I wouldn't even say you, because other people tried to fight the bear. Besides the model girl getting stabbed to death, the cool Bozozoku guy was beating up the bear, and then he heard it ticking, and then he threw it, and then it exploded. So when they took apart the new robot bear, they saw a bomb was in it. And they're like, "Wow, okay, so there's a lot of these because the next day the bear shows up anyway. So fuck, we were right. That sucks." Hmm. So when they took apart the bear, there's a bomb in it, and then when you go and investigate the super new mystery murder, the I laugh only at this because this is fucking wild. The girl who's a serial killer and the author goes up to the dead body, and then it explodes and sends her flying, and she's not dead. I don't know how she's not dead, despite the fact that she was face first with an explosion, but she's not dead. So yeah, there's that. Anywho, everyone totally thinks you did it because why wouldn't you have done it? You were the person who was last seen, and then you get the opportunity to tell everybody, "No, Kirigiri did it," because, I mean, she was the one who has all this evidence stacked up against her. And you can either do that or you can just accept that everyone's going to vote on you. If you tell them Kirigiri did it, then she gets executed and you end up living the rest of your life in the school. Apparently, all three of you guys bang the three remaining guys bang the swimmer girl, and they knock her up with kids. And at some point, the author girl died. I don't know how. I want to say suicide because the guy that she loves fucked some other girl. But who's to say? Who's to say? And instead, if you go the right path, which is let yourself try to get killed, you get saved by alter ego, the laptop. Somehow was able to hack into the system thanks to you doing the thing that you needed to do earlier, and it saved you from getting executed. And instead, you get sent to like a trash chute. So you end up in the trash chute. You wake up, and you hang out, and then after a while, Kirigiri falls down. And I mentioned this because this is also weird. So most of the game is like little sprite images, and you don't really do much besides look at them and talk to them. Because there's no, like I said, all the gameplay is the trial itself. Like the most of it's like a visual novel. So when she falls into the thing, she has like this little noodle cup of instant ramen on her head, and like that just becomes a little sprite for a while. Yeah. Uh, so the thing about this is nobody remembers how they got there. All they remember is when they got to school, they passed out and then they woke up, right? As it turns out, Kitty Gunny finally remembers her shit. She remembers why she came to school. She came to school because the principal was her dad. And she is totally a detective. Like, that wasn't fucking easy to find out. And the reason she wants to go find her dad is because her dad abandoned her when she was a kid. So she has dad issues. Okay, whatever. So, you climb on up and you get on up this big ladder, and it opens you up to the trash chute where you're nearby. Super easy to get back. Get back in, and then it's like, yeah, the bear rigged it. As it turns out, that fucking thing was not supposed to die. Now we're starting in chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. I say that I forgot to name chapter 5 of the previous case, which was 100-mile dash pain of a junk food junkie. Yeah, sorry about that. But like, this is chapter 6 and we're already at the end. We're already at the home stretch. Now all I have to do about after this is talk about school mode and why I really like 2 of the characters, and that's about it. Okay, so chapter 6. After going up to the top of the school, the robot goes like, "All right, cool, fine, fuck it. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna do this right now, cause fuck you guys, and I fucking hate you. And I'm gonna solve this shit real quick. If you want to get out, you can get out now. All you have to do is figure out who I am, and that's it. Fuck you, nerds. Right? So yeah, I remember this. This was different because in the game, everybody thinks you totally killed the fucking person, and the kid that killed the masked person, who you discover is the 16th student, Mukuro Ikusaba, the ultimate soldier. Anywho, they think you did it, but in the show, in the anime, they're like, no, you totally didn't do it. It's fine, it's fine. For whatever fucking reason. Anywho, when you discover the 16th student, Mukuro Ikusawa, you read her shit, and it goes like, oh, she was never scarred or any of that shit, and it was like, she was super good at her job, and you could tell it was her because if you had looked at her hand, she had a tattoo of like a wolf on it, and that's the mark of her group, Fenrir. And for those of you who don't know, Fenrir is in Norse mythology, is the wolf that will eat the sun and has eaten Tyr's hand and will start Ragnarok. Anyway, that's just shit I know. Anyway, so you by going through and collecting a bunch of evidence that tells you all about what happened to the school and all this other shit, it's you find out hey, so it's not an extra person who took over the school and did all this shit. It was one of the students who was here. Like, yeah. And in an attempt to get you guys to all turn on each other's backs at the last minute, the bear leaves around a bunch of pictures that show everybody except for one person. And it's sort of like, hey, look, everyone except Asahina, the swimmer. It's like, clearly you guys all did this shit together and you're ganging up on me because I'm not in this picture and everyone keeps doing that. And I was like, alright. Look, we find the pictures of each other hanging out and being all cool. I don't remember any of this shit. Do you remember any of that shit? No. These pictures were clearly doctored. It's like, no, those pictures aren't doctored. I'm like, the pictures aren't doctored? I'm like, no. And then you find the footage that shows you guys sitting and doing an interview. Like, I say you guys, I mean like every one of the students. Every one of the students doing an interview that says, with the principal going, hey, are you ready to live here for the rest of your life? And you're like, yes. It's like, okay, cool. So it turns out, and this is the thing that made me like really, really start to love this because of how much it opens up the narrative in the long term. It turns out everyone has amnesia and has forgotten 2 years of their life. 2 years have passed since you came to that school. So the moment you blacked out, you didn't actually black out. Your memories of the 2 years between then and now were erased. And you think that there's a real world outside. As it turns out, the world outside is fucking destroyed and demolished. And by asking Genocide to show the other half of Fukawa, who was not affected by the brainwashing thing where you forget 2 years, because I mean she's an altered personality, she's not an actual person. She gives people a little pieces of information, go like, oh yeah, no, the world outside got destroyed and it was fucking all kinds of messed up. There was a huge riot and a bunch of other shit, and they go like, wait, okay. So if Mukuro isn't the person who did it, and it's clearly not any of us, and then they investigating over the death, they go like, the person who died was Mukuro. And I was like, right, okay, so the person who died was Mukuro. But wait, they have stab wounds all over their body. How did that happen? It's like, well, what we thought was Junko Enoshima, the fashion model, was actually Mukuro Ikusaba disguised as Enoshima because we couldn't remember her for 2 years. We just thought, oh, maybe that's her. And when I had an inkling, I said, "You look different than normal." She was like, "Oh, they always digitally touch up magazines." She was just fucking lying to me. I'm like, "Oh wow, that's nuts." And he was like, "Wait, that's why she said it wasn't supposed to be this way, because she was super in on it the whole time." And it's like, "Yep, isn't that fucking amazing? Fucking amazing." Oof, 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 oof. And then the real Junko Enoshima shows up, or rather, a girl who looks like Junko Enoshima and is completely nutballs. She's the real one, yeah, but I mean she's a complete nutball. Like that's it. She's constantly changing the way that she speaks every 5 seconds. And I guess it's supposed to be her gimmick of I'm bored by everything. That's why I love depression and despair. And the entire reason I did all this shit was to depress you and depress everyone who's watching. Like watching is like, yo, you think the cameras around here are just fucking for show? Now they've been broadcasting this shit out to the outside world because you kids are supposed to represent the best of humanity, and watching you guys murder each other is depressing everyone. I fucking hate you guys. I was like, you hate us? Like, no. I said that. I love you. I was like, what? I love you. And the thing I love most is despair. So in order to make sure that I can share my love with you, I have to make you horribly depressed. And then you just have to convince everyone to get their shit together and go like, yeah, so what if the fucking world is all destroyed? We're not just living for ourselves. We're living for our friends. We can save the future. And you stop being the ultimate lucky kid and you start becoming the ultimate hope. And by convincing everyone that everybody that we can form hope and we can do it, you gets to basically get Junko executed, and she fucking dies, and everyone goes outside, and that's the end of Dangan Ronpa 1. Boy, there is a lot of shit to talk about. Like, just not even just going into every single person's hangouts and backgrounds, but I'm not gonna do all that shit. So here's what happens. After you beat the game, you unlock a thing called School Mode, like I mentioned before, where you can go and hang out with everybody, and you can learn more about their backgrounds and stuff. And when you beat the hanging out part, you can go on dates with them. Basically, you have to complete these little like collection quests to build stuff, and then when you build the stuff, you get date tickets, and you get to take people out on dates, and you get to learn even more about them. I'll admit, I dated all the girls, and then all the guys, because I really, really love this game. I platinumed it. I did the most. I did actually everything I could for the fucking game, because I thought it was really fun and it was really interesting. And the more I talked to the people, I realized that that was more fun to me than the regular game part of it. So I created a perfect save file where I haven't talked to anybody, so I could, interestingly enough, when you talk to people, you get skills and you get bonus points so to make the cases easier to in the actual trial parts of the game. But I didn't give a shit. I made it unnecessarily difficult for myself insofar that I didn't talk to anybody so that I could save the conversations for my perfect file where I can talk to everybody and learn everything about them. Funny thing about school mode and talking to everybody, everyone has a limited amount of things that they can say in Hangouts, and the people who die early have less things to say than the people who die later because they're alive for longer, so they expected you to have more. That changes a lot in two, because in two they give everyone the same amount of events, and that's just who you choose to hang out with before they die. Or who you choose to hang out with, not knowing whether or not they're gonna die. In one, it's like, nah, she dies real fast. Let's just give her like two. Fuck it. Versus other people, it's like, let's give her like eight because she has like two personalities. And then yeah, you can ask them on dates and you learn more about them. I dated all the girls and then the guys, but I did the girls first just because I was more interested. Although I'll admit, first person I took out, Fujisaki, because he's adorable. I don't give a shit if he's a dude. He's cuter than every other girl in that fucking game. I don't care. Fucking gorgeous. Anywho, I say that that's not fair. Anyway, things I like about him is just how squishy he is. Like, there's a point to where, like, all right, I guess he's effeminate looking, right? But he's probably just a regular dude on the inside. Nah, he's super squishy, like, emotionally, too. Like, the first thing you do when you hang out with him is he's getting bitten by a mosquito. Well, no, it's not the first thing. It's like the second or third thing. The first thing is he asks you if you know anything about computers. And you're like, and it's like, how'd you get into computers? And he goes like, I mean, I made this thing. It took voices and I was like, voice recognition. It's like, oh, you know what that is? And it's like, yeah, I'm not retarded. But there's a one where he goes, ah, it hurts. And it's like, what's wrong? It's like, this mosquito is draining my blood. And he was like, why don't you just kill it? He was like, I can't do that. Like, what do you mean? It's like, it's a mosquito. And I'm like, no, I mean, it's drinking blood because, it needs blood to fertilize its eggs. Don't you know only female mosquitoes drink blood? I mean, I know that. And that means the mosquito needs it to live, and I don't want to kill it. Oh, okay. Fucking, wow. That's adorable. That's so weird that you're so positive about life and shit like that. To which you turn it into like, hey, if a mosquito's in here, that means bugs can get in here, which means the outside world has to exist. And it's like, you're right. And then, you just use it as a little thing. And then after I finished doing all the girls, I did Owada and then all the other guys. But I did Owada first, the biker guy, because I don't know why, I have this completely huge fascination with Yankee characters in Japanese fiction. Like something about the delinquents, I really bond with them. Anyway, I understand. I don't know. I just really like their oddly they're very noble in most of the fiction because of the protagonist, but also they have rougher edges around them, which make them more rounded as a person. So, biker guy Bosuzoku Owada, one of my favorite things is like when you hang out with him. The first time he goes like, "Hey, what kind of bike you ride?" I was like, "Bike?" He goes like, "Yeah, guys ride bikes." Duh. It's like I don't think you everyone rides bikes. He's like, "No, guys ride bikes. I ride a straight pipe. You ride a straight pipe?" It's like, you mean a you know what a straight pipe means, right?" It's like, I'm gonna guess you mean a motorcycle with no muffler. It's like, right, exactly. So you ride a straight pipe? It's like, no. It's like, I ride a Suzuki. Real dudes ride Suzuki. You should go on a ride with me sometime. It's like, oh, I don't really want to. It'll be awesome. God, I'm so hyped. See you later, bro. And it's like, wow, okay, you already like me. That's fun. Okay, sure, whatever. And then you talk to him more, and then he's like, you like dogs? You like cats? It's like, I mean, I like dogs. It's like, right? Totally love dogs. Cats are weird. He's like, I used to have a dog when I was a kid. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, it's a little Maltese. It's like, that's not an itty bitty Maltese. I wouldn't have expected that from a big scary guy like you. It's like, his name was Chuck. Chuck was so smart. I love Chuck. Oh man, I used to get the paper, and then he would get like slippers, and then he would get my shoes so we could take him out on walks, and you know, I, and he died of it was and he just like starts crying, and it's like, whoa, wow, holy shit, you're really passionate about this dog thing. I'm sorry. And he was like, oh, that's gay. I just want to go. I'm fine. I'll just go chill out somewhere else. It's like, oh man, that's okay, cool. Yeah, all right. You really love dogs, and you're capable of more than one emotion because you're not just a cartoon character. That's cool. I mean, he is just a character, but I mean that he's a well-rounded character. He's more like a person where he has likes and dislikes and shit like that, rather than just I like bikes and that's about it. And another one, you talk to him, and he goes on about he wants to fucking fight. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, come on, let's punch each other. As real men speak with their fists. And it's like, I don't want to do that. You're like 7 times taller than me, and you're like nothing but muscle. You will murder me. Why don't you go fight a martial artist? He's like, you can't do that. It's like, what? You think she'll fuck you up? It's like, no, that's not it. It's like, what, you think you could fuck her up? No, that's not it either. It's like, why not? It's like, it's a girl. It's like, so? It's like, I can't hit a girl. It's like, what? What? How fucking old? What? And it's like, yeah, I can't hit a girl. I'm terrible at talking to girls, dude. And he's like, whoa, wait, really? You're shit at talking to girls? And it's like, yeah, look, well, the thing is, whenever I try to talk to a girl, I get nervous. And when I get nervous, I yell. And, like, I'm awful at talking to girls. So, like, whenever I have a crush on a girl, I'll try to talk to her, and then I'll get nervous, and I'll start yelling, and then she'll be afraid or cry or some shit. And then I'll yell more because I'm even more nervous. And then it'll, like, totally leave. And it's like, I'm, like, on a fucking straight losing streak with chicks because of that shit, man. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm bummed. I'm gonna go. It's just shit like that. And I really like that he has so much going on. One more thing about before I wrap this up real quick. This is just kind of it for Danganronpa 1. When you finish school mode and you finish the dates, they give you their underwear, which is like, what? And everyone's underwear is different and a little bit emblematic of what they are. which is kind of funny in a way. That has a little description. I remember Fujisaki wears big like poofy bloomers, like old pantaloons kind of thing. And it's like clearly they wear this so that no one can even vaguely see an outline of a dick or a crotch or anything. I mean, who the hell can tell what your crotch looks like in pantaloons? They're so big and poofy. And even if somebody looks under, then they're not gonna tell shit. It's like, wow, did you think down to that you wear like old 16th century pantaloons, big puffy shorts? That's nuts. Oh, well, that was like tiger boxer briefs. It's nuts. I don't remember what that's about. There's something about it. Like it emanates masculinity or it says some dumb shit like that. Ishimaru wears tidy whities and like they're clean and pressed and very well treated. Clearly says a lot about this person. But yeah, I mean that's about it for Dangan Ronpa 1. That's about it for this episode. So next time we're gonna talk about Dangan Ronpa 2, and then maybe another one about the anime. Might not even be the directly next one. I might want to talk about something else, like I don't know, uh, fucking Ichi the Killer. So final rating. What do we give Danganronpa 1? I'm not even gonna say the franchise. We're gonna do 1. What do I give Danganronpa 1 on a scale of sensible as black dress shoes to JoJo stupid? Well, I feel like I should give it a War of the Worlds. For those of you who've forgotten, that's 6 to 7. Because its premise is already kind of dumb. Not even the death game thing. Death games are always kind of dumb. But I mean, the idea of the school is already retarded. And having these fucking nutso weird people that are just like hyper specific about their fields. And having them drawn so cartoonishly weird every single time. And the interactions you have with them, that alone is already kind of retarded. When you put in the death game element, the reasons they kill each other, it like adds more layers to the insanity of this series. And then when you have like Robot Bear that has bombs and all this other shit that's like it's fucking dumb, man. But it's not so dumb. Like at least it uses regular people and their talents aren't anything that's like supernatural. It's not like even Hagakure the fortune teller. His thing is my predictions are accurate 30% of the time, which like how the fuck is that even like anyone could probably do that, I guess. Like, it's not even amazing, but it's kind of funny in that way. Everyone has really well-rounded backgrounds to explain how they got to this point, to where they became super obsessed or super skilled at a specific thing. Like Fujisaki's thing is his dad is a programmer. His dad is a computer guy, so working on his dad's computer shit is what got him so interested. And being an indoor kid, because he's super weak and sickly, it means that he was gonna be gravitating more towards an indoor activity. Computer programming just happened to be the one. So it's not completely insane, but I feel that the world that it's set up in, where a world where everyone throws a riot over like kids at a school is. I mean, they just say that what happens is a bunch of students got fucking murdered, and that the school covered it up, and that the school covering it up is what made everything go ballistic. Later in the franchise, that gets more fleshed out, and it makes more sense. But with what you're given in the first game, it doesn't sound like the kind of thing that throws the entire globe into an civil unrest and uproar that leads the world into collapsing. Like, that's retarded. And then, yeah. So yeah, I'd give it a War of the Worlds. That's a solid 7. Okay. We'll be back next time on But Is It JoJo Stupid? Bye now.